In this video, I'm going to be breaking down all of the camera settings inside a Stop Motion Studio that you need to know to get the best results out of your phone. So, with that said, let's get right into it. Basically everything in this bar here is what I'm going to be going over, plus a couple bonus tips. So, with that said, let's jump right into it. So, starting off with the actual camera mode that you have. So, you probably already know this, but you don't want to be in auto mode for stop motion. You don't want to be in this. You don't want to be in that. I mean, you can, but the best results, you're going to want to be in manual mode. The reason being is, I'll give you a quick example. With auto mode, it's going to automatically adjust your image every frame you take. The phone does that anyways, but for the auto mode just makes it even worse. So let me give you a quick example here. Take a note of the exposure on the image here. I'm gonna put my hand in front of the phone. Take it away. See how it brightened and dimmed? You don't want that when you're animating. You do not want that. You want as consistent and steady of camera settings and lighting as you can possibly get. So to fix that, you're gonna want to go on manual mode. It's not going to fix all your problems, but as far as camera settings go, it will get you the best results. Alright, for white balance, this is white balance. White balance just controls the color of your image right out of the camera. So it's best just to pick a neutral white balance, so you can change it in the editor if you want to. But either way, I think it's better to have a neutral color. I'll do sunrise. I think that looks good. Also, don't question this figure. I just pulled it out. Okay. But yeah, that's all you need to know with white balance. Just get whatever looks good. If you want a bluer scene, go for it. Anyways, you get the picture. With focus, typically just zero it out because you want it to be as close of focus as possible, because the phone does not focus that close, at least not in Stop Motion Studio, which kind of stinks. There's a couple fixes to this, but I'm not going to get into that in this video because I could probably make an entire video about that. Anyways, that's all you need to know with focus. With ISO and shutter speed are probably the biggest things to take note of here. You don't want to crank up your ISO at any time. I don't care what you're doing. Always keep it as low as it can go. In my case, that's 100. The reason being is ISO is like a digital noise exposure thing. It just digitally brightens your image. I'll show you. Let me dim this. We'll get into shutter speed right after this. But as you can see, the ISO just makes it I mean, you may be saying oh, I like that look. It may look good as a still image, but not when it's played through, because you're gonna get those little grainy, noisy blobs, and it's not gonna look good. If you want it to look more flat and evenly lit like that, just do it in your lighting. Don't do it in your phone. Just word of advice. Yeah, keep it at 100 ISO at all times. And if you want to brighten your scene, do it in your shutter speed. Reason being is the shutter speed doesn't digitally brighten the image, at least generally. I'm not sure how this applies to the phone, because the phone's a digital camera, so don't quote me on this. But as a general rule of thumb, the shutter speed, what it does is it affects how long the shutter of your camera stays open for as it takes the picture. So I'm gonna take a picture here. This is 1/40th of a second. And then this is 1/800th of a second. So 1/800th of a second is literally it. The shutter just opened and closed for 1/800th of a second. So you're gonna want it to be higher up, at least 1/50th, I would say. Reason being is not only does it make your scene brighter, but also it reduces some amount of flicker. Because when the shutter opens and stays open for a longer period of time, if there's an imperfection in your light source during that time frame, the longer the shutter stays open for, the higher the chance that you can it'll blend that lighting imperfection together, where like the lighting just brightens and dims. It'll blend all that together to hopefully get a more consistent overall exposure throughout the whole animation. Whereas if you want like 1/800th of a second, it's going to be so quick that it can't do anything with it. It's just going to lock into what the light source was if your lighting flickered in that instant. Excuse me. But yeah, keep your shutter speed at least 1/50th of a second, I would recommend. And yeah, it also, for some reason with the phone, when you make the shutter speed like lower, like 1/800th of a second, it makes the overall image just more grungy looking. I don't know why, but it does. Yeah, it just makes it more grungy looking. You don't want that. So yeah, at least 1/50th of a second is recommended. And when I say at least, I mean like you can go to the right here and make the number bigger. The fraction bigger, I should say. So with zoom, you're pretty much going to do whatever you want with this. I recommend for like headshots, for like close-ups, like 2.5x is good. Reason being is the focus just doesn't focus that close, as I've mentioned, so zooming in is pretty much your only way to get closer to your subject, unfortunately, because this diminishes the quality because it's digitally zooming, which means it's cropping into the frame somewhat. The phone does have like, I don't know, it doesn't better image quality, that's for sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it there on this whole bar. That's all you need to know. Just quick recap: keep everything manual, leave nothing auto. That goes for the actual settings mode, the white balance, of course focus. ISO you want to keep as low as possible. Shutter speed, why are you on 120? Okay, I don't know why it's down there. You want to keep it at least 1/50th of a second for best results. Zoom, do whatever you want with that. And yeah, that's all you need to know with that bar. Now I'm going to show you a couple cool tips I would have liked to have known when I was starting out. Firstly, it's a rule of thirds. It's a little box here on the left, bottom left corner. What this is, it's like a composition guide. It's pretty much for like framing your shots up to figure out where your character is going to be. So how this actually helps, I know it just looks like a goofy grid overlay, but it's actually really cool. It's like a filmmaking little trick. So you're going to want to have your minifigure's head like typically on this top line here, just along this top line, typically in the center, but you can angle them this way on this intersecting point, or this way on this intersecting point. Maybe he's looking this way. And yeah, it's just a great guide to have to help frame up your shots better and make them more pleasing to the eye, because that's what this grid is literally for, because it's like a scientifically proven guide where people like naturally like guide their eyes. Anyways, I'm getting too much into that, but yeah, it's just a cool little guide. I would highly recommend you do more research into that because it's a cool little filmmaking technique. And the other thing is your actual export settings. I'll touch on that real quick. I always do HQ quality. Some people go like, oh, you gotta go 4K plus, and then the phone says no. So you just go, oh, I gotta go 4K, and it's like, no, that doesn't do anything. HD is literally your end product of what you're gonna get. That's all you need. And I do HQ, so it's a little bit higher quality, not crazy high, but high enough so that I can like crop in post if I need to. So yeah, that's what I like to export at. And don't do SD because that's just like 720p, you don't want that. So yeah, export at HQ quality, and of course do these like blue things so you can have some live playback. But yeah, that's all I got to say with camera settings in Stop Motion Studio. With that said, if you want even more help with like setting up your animation scenes and all that good stuff, whether it be your lighting, like camera setup, all that good stuff, like set design, then be sure to go to the pinned comment down below where I have a free animation setup guide. What this is it's like a simple little checklist of like all the things you should do before you start animating to get the best results possible. And camera settings are a part of that. It's a handy checklist. You can even print it out if you want to and just like mentally check before you animate. It's especially helpful if you're like just starting out. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. God bless you, and have an awesome rest of your day.